Perspectives, and the quest for truth. Hello, I am Dan Mason. Here I am responding to another atheist on YouTube. After posting my video, I received this reply: objective truth while experiencing everything from a subjective perspective. Philosophy is fundamental. My response: the pursuit of objective truth through subjective experience. You raise an insightful point. As human beings, we engage with the world through subjective experience, yet we search for objective truth. This tension between subjectivity and objectivity is one of the oldest questions in philosophy, and indeed, philosophy plays a critical role in navigating these challenges. However, while atheistic frameworks often argue that truth is only subjective or constructed, I argue that objective truth must exist independently of individual perspectives, and philosophy helps us understand why this is the case. Subjective perspectives and the quest for truth. It's undeniable that each of us perceives reality through our own subjective lens. Every thought, emotion, and experience is filtered through our personal consciousness. However, the mere fact that we experience the world subjectively does not imply that all truth is relative. Philosophers from Plato to Kant have sought to explain how we can access objective truths even while limited by our perceptions. As C.S. Lewis said, "You can't, except by the help of modern science, get a real good savage to think that you can turn 2 and 2 into 5. In other words, certain truths, like 2 plus 2 is 4, exist independently of whether we believe them or not. These are examples of objective truths, which remain true regardless of individual belief or cultural context. Objective morality follows the same logic. If there is such a thing as objective moral good, it must exist beyond personal or societal opinions, much like mathematical truths. Why philosophy is crucial. Philosophy is the discipline that allows us to examine these foundational questions. Atheism often leans on empirical science, which is indispensable for understanding the natural world. However, science operates within a limited scope. It tells us how things work, but not why they matter. As philosopher Immanuel Kant noted, science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. Philosophy provides the framework to explore the underlying meaning of our experiences, addressing questions of ethics, metaphysics, and epistemology, areas where atheism tends to falter. Secular humanism, for example, builds a framework for meaning and morality through human-centered values, but it struggles to provide objective foundations. If truth and meaning are purely subjective, they become changeable and arbitrary. Atheism claims to follow evidence, but without philosophy to guide interpretation, evidence alone can't tell us why some things are good or why life has meaning. Objective morality requires a transcendent source. Even though we experience life subjectively, the existence of objective truth points toward something beyond human subjectivity. Morality is a key example. If some actions are truly right or wrong, such as murder being inherently evil, this implies a standard that transcends human preferences. Without an independent standard, as atheist philosopher Michael Ruse acknowledges, morality is an illusion fobbed off on us by our genes to get us to cooperate. If morality is just an evolutionary adaptation, it loses any objective meaning. It becomes nothing more than a survival tool, useful but without intrinsic value. The theistic view, however, posits that moral truths reflect the nature of a transcendent being. Just as our subjective experience doesn't change the truth that 2 plus 2 is 4, it doesn't change the fact that moral truths exist beyond personal or cultural opinion. Philosophy's role in clarifying meaning and purpose. Atheism often asserts that meaning is something we create for ourselves, which works on a subjective level. However, subjective meaning is not the same as objective purpose. Philosophy helps us explore whether the search for meaning implies the existence of an inherent purpose. As Viktor Frankl wrote, life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. If purpose were purely subjective, why would people from all cultures and beliefs continually seek something greater than themselves? The philosophical pursuit of truth suggests that objective meaning and purpose exist beyond individual experience. Atheism, while offering a framework for subjective meaning, cannot answer the deeper question, is there an ultimate purpose to life? Philosophy opens the door to answers beyond materialism and subjectivity. Theistic worldviews argue that the search for purpose is not in vain. Rather, it reflects a deeper reality woven into the universe by a transcendent creator. Conclusion: navigating subjectivity in the search for truth. Yes, we experience everything subjectively, but this does not mean truth itself is subjective. Philosophy teaches us how to navigate our subjective experiences while pursuing objective truths. Atheism's failure lies in its over-reliance on subjective or natural explanations, leaving fundamental questions unanswered. Objective truth, whether moral, metaphysical, or existential, must come from a source beyond individual perspectives. Philosophy remains essential in this search, guiding us toward a coherent understanding of meaning, morality, and purpose. Through philosophy, we can recognize that subjective experience and objective truth are not mutually exclusive. They work together, leading us to the realization that objective truth must come from an independent, transcendent source. Without such a source, truth becomes nothing more than shifting opinions in an ever-changing world.